Hello dear Aquarius, welcome to my astrology channel Today Energy. I am Michaela and this is your monthly astrological forecast for June. June promises to be a way calmer month than the previous two because we were experiencing the season of spring eclipses, which I suppose was pretty significant and emotional possibly time for you as well as for the other signs belonging to the fixed cross of the zodiac, that is Leos and Taurus and most of all Scorpios. And now the universe gives us the chance to calm down, to integrate all these changes and energies from the eclipses. This June we will have 3 retrograde planets. On one hand, that implies more internalization, more focus to your internal world, reassessment of several topics ruled precisely by these planets. But let's start from the very beginning. At the beginning of the month, we feel the energies of this fiery, passionate, explosive conjunction of Jupiter and Mars in Aries, and that's your 3rd house. So possibly at the end of May, beginning of June, you were experiencing a lot of hustle and bustle in communications, in traveling, a lot of action in social medias, meeting people, sharing knowledge. But this conjunction generally could be very positive, but it was squared by a tricky point on the sky. It's called Black Moon Lilith. Currently Lilith is transiting the sign of Cancer. Before, for 9 months, Lilith was in Gemini and it was about verbal and mental disturbances, miscommunications, fake news. But now it's about emotions. It's about emotional manipulations, overreactions, being offended by nothing, much ado about nothing, as Shakespeare said. And Lilith is in your 6th house, squaring Jupiter and Mars. What does it mean? So possibly there was drama that you experienced, whether at work, with your colleagues, with your employees, or maybe with doctors. Maybe doctors made you feel oversensitive, over emotional, or it could be about some situations in life that you had to, or you still have to help someone fix something. It might be repairing your home or your car, your vehicle maybe. But Lilith introduces misunderstandings and possibly even manipulations. So don't fall for verbal or for informational manipulations or something related to work or health, because it might simply not be truth and not worth paying attention to. Well, on the 3rd of June, Mercury stations to go direct, which is a good news because Mercury was retrograde for the last 3 weeks. But the day in which it stations to turn its direction, and I would give it plus minus 1 day, so 2nd, 3rd, 4th of June, we need to be careful with our judgment, with our thoughts, with what we speak, because there might be this mental or verbal misunderstandings. In your case, Mercury rules 5th and 8th house, so I would avoid those 3 days financial topics or discussions with your children or with your loved ones, or anything related to passive incomes. You have to be more careful, paying more attention and double checking things. And Mercury stations in your 4th house in Taurus, so that means that I would avoid also any serious discussions with relatives, with parents, at home, or anything related to property. Now the good news is that of course after the 4th of June the planet starts moving faster and faster, going direct, so all these topics about children, love, family, property, relocation, it will go way smoother and progress. By the way, you still can watch on my channel the video about Mercury retrograde, because I think the information is still relevant, as Mercury leaves the retrograde shadow after the 18th of June. On the 5th, Saturn stations to go retrograde. Now this is important because Saturn is a slower planet, a bit further, so we feel Saturnian topics very much the last couple of days of May, first 10 days of June. In the public space, that could be about government restrictions, regulations, constructions, foundations, something tightening like shortages, politicians, elderly people, pensions. But in your case, Saturn is your traditional ruler, so Saturn is you, and also it rules your 12th house. When Saturn is stationing, the focus is on these topics. And Saturn wants you to reassess, reevaluate, think very seriously and very carefully about your health, your body, your environment, your relationships. How do you build them? With whom you build them? Can you trust yourself? Can you trust the people around you or the people you make some agreements and deals with? Might be personal partners, business partners, close friends, advisors, and so on. And 12th house is even more tricky, dear Aquarius, because 12th house is our subconscious, it's our past, our emotions. So Saturn wants us to be practical, pragmatic, serious. Saturn is about obstacles, and in this case it might be as physical obstacles, so being a bit more conscious with your diet, exercising hard. Saturn will want you to do this. Maybe being more strict with your appearance, something more classical, more retro, more mature. Saturn wants you to mature and to be like adult, responsible, taking commitments, responsibilities. But at the same time, 12th house, it's about something from the past, maybe related to your parents or grandparents, most specifically maybe your father. And maybe you need to work with a psychologist or therapist or do some regression, which might not be an easy process because Saturn is a bit grim planet. It's about fears, it's about insecurities in yourself mostly. So these things must be seriously addressed with cool head, without emotions. You know it very well, Aquarius. You're a very intellectual sign, very progressive, but Saturn is blocking the progress. So don't worry, it's just this first days of the month, but also Saturn then will be retrograde for 4 months and a half. So you'll have this time to reassess yourself, your environment, your past, maybe how the past influences your decision making, maybe something which is subconscious. 12th house, you have to dig it out because it's buried there. It's like we say a dead dog is buried or the monster is in the closet. So Saturn wants you to dig it out, address it, face it, be brave, be practical and clean, eliminate. Saturn doesn't want superficial attitude, people around you. You have to build solid foundations. With first house, we usually start something in our life, some new projects, no matter what exactly. So Saturn wants you to reassess what you want to build yourself in your life, how people see you, and maybe Saturn wants you to exert confidence and power and stability, achieve some good social status, because Saturn is about ambitions and achievements. So address and realize your ambitions. Don't be ashamed of yourself or of them, and you have to act. And not on the last place, we're talking about personal boundaries. Okay, your body is sacred. No one can touch you or tell you what to do without your permission. People shouldn't cross boundaries. With this Lilith in your 6th house, there might be these people who are like, oh, I need your help, please take care of me, please help me. It might be, of course, some dear relative of yours, it might be some colleagues, but Lilith is provocations, manipulations, and you are Saturn, so you have to be strict and discern, have good discernment, like what I can really help with someone, or maybe I should mind my own business and myself first thing first, and then already help others as much as I can. And the good news is that Saturn will go again direct on the 22nd of October, and after this time, already having rethought all of this, restructured your life, your goals, achievements, social status, maybe it's about getting married, maybe it's about divorcing, maybe it's about having a child and taking this huge responsibility for the rest of your life. Well, in October already you will have all this clear, and most importantly, Saturn does reward. He doesn't give presents like Jupiter just out of the blue, suddenly you win the lottery and the jackpot and the million. No, with Saturn you work hard with a sweat on your forehead, as we say, but then he rewards you accordingly to your own efforts. yeah, how much you have matured and grown up. On the 12th, we have Venus conjuncting your modern ruler Uranus in your 4th house. Okay, and Venus rules your 4th and 9th house. So there might be surprises from your side. Also, by the way, with this conjunction on the 12th, we are referred to the solar eclipse we had in the late April. So it might be an echo, continuation of a topic, something becomes more clear for you. Venus is beauty, it's charm. So with your ruler, Venus gives you this diplomacy and the sweet tooth, maybe just desire to bond, to connect, to take care of someone, pleasant experiences at home possibly. But there might be also surprises, because generally the energy of Uranus is to shock us, to surprise us. Uranus rules internet and electricity, so there might be disruptions of these things in your home. There might be moving in, moving out, some rebellion possibly. Someone, you might feel rebellious, or your parents, your close relatives, because Venus rules your 9th, so there might be sudden need to relocate, to move. Maybe there are news about documents, papers, legal matters, and it might be connected either to studies or to relocation. Maybe you're suddenly deciding to study archaeology, for example, yeah, something connected to roots, to your past. Maybe you will examine your family history, for instance. Changing suddenly your worldview, and because Venus is finances and love, so you might make money out of home or property, and you might meet love, someone from your country of origin, or your parents might introduce you to your future partner. On the 13th, Mercury, who is already going forward and direct, he goes again back into Gemini, his home sign. Very happy is Mercury there, and Mercury will be in Gemini till the 5th of July. That's your 5th house, so there is a good chance this time to speak out your truths, to be on a stage, to present your hobbies, passions, your ideas, to be with your loved ones, travel with them, travel with kids, play with your children, do some examinations if you need to get pregnant with IVF or artificially. That's great for health exams. Right. On the 14th, we have a full moon at 23 degrees of Sagittarius, and that's your 11th house. So generally that's news from your friends or your groups of like-minded people. That's some performance, that's some popularity, because 11th house is fame, being famous physically or online. Maybe you are presenting your page or your blog, or maybe you're closing it, because full moons is culminations and endings or culminations of friendships, of group projects. But at the same time, this full moon particularly is squared by Neptune, and Neptune is in your 2nd house. So be careful here with what you spend your money on. On one hand, maybe you are earning money, you're receiving salary for something you did with other people or for other people, for groups, communities. Maybe you think you have clarity about your income from these group projects, but at the same time, Neptune is a planet of over-idealization. It's like a mist. We don't think very clearly with Neptune. We tend to dream, to represent the desired for the real, what we want it to be. We put it we project it on the situation, but it's not always the case. So yeah, and 2nd house is money, earning, spending. So if your friends are like, come on, invest your money into our common activity, let's share, be thoughtful about it. Just, think smart whether you can afford to invest and share money with others or not yet. And or maybe you will do some artistic projects or spiritual projects with other like-minded people. That could be a good thing. And last but not least, 2nd house is self-esteem. So maybe you weren't exactly sure about who you are, how you behave, what other people value you for. And this time just don't allow your self-esteem to be absolutely dependent on your friends, whether you have friends or not, or how they treat you or accept you. That is not always the entire paradigm or showing how much you are worth quite the opposite, I would say. When you know your worth, you are attracting people who actually love you and respect you for who you are, the real tribe, yeah, the real friends and like-minded people. Then on the 21st, Sun moves into Cancer, and wherever Sun goes, there is, let's say, for a whole month, our attention to, and that's your 6th house, so attention to your health, to your work, to your routine, regime, like what you eat, how much you exercise, your work-life balance, when you go to sleep, how much you sleep. So this is important. Pay attention to all these things. Maybe you'll meet the good practitioner, doctor who will help you. Maybe some important work projects will appear. Also, it is about your responsibilities, taking care of someone, so maybe the Sun will help you with all those matters. And also Sun rules your partners, okay, Aquarius? So as the Sun moves through the 12 signs of the horoscope, your partner is behaving a bit accordingly to those signs. So for a whole month, your partners will be a bit more Cancerian, you see. So that means more gentle, more sensitive. So be careful not to offend them, because there is Lilith, remember. So it's easy to kind of say something or do something, and your partners already like hold grudges and so on. At the same time, they're very caring now. They want to share, they want to cuddle, they want to feel safe and secure. So you might want to provide them these feelings. On the 23rd, Venus goes into Gemini as well, into your 5th house. So a bit more, even more romantic experiences with your partners. Love can be on the horizon, like this kind of, meeting someone, dating. Venus is pleasure, and 5th house is hobbies, it's artistic self-expression, it's doing what you're passionate about. So Venus can even make you earn money from what you love doing, or do your hobbies with real pleasure, or with women. Venus is young women. On the 28th, Neptune stations to go retrograde, and Neptune is even slower, far away planet, outer planet. So we do feel Neptunian topics very strongly. I would say last 2 weeks of May, first 2 weeks of June. And Neptune, you already know, like in the public space, it could be about talks about media, scandals, medicine, liquids, oceans, seas, possibly ecology, biology, maybe these liquid fuels, right, like petrol, even gas, viruses, medicine, addictions as well is Neptune, but he rules and he stations in your 2nd house. So here really be very careful with spending, be thoughtful about your budget, because Neptune is like over idealizing. You might be, oh, I always wanted this pink car, so I will buy this pink car, and then you're like, what the hell did I do? Why did I buy it? I spent all my savings for this pink car, for example, right? Also, it's about, because 2nd house is how do you feed your body, how do you take care of your body, and Neptune is about liquids, so your body might just hold more liquids this time, or you might do some liquid diet, yeah, just drinking smoothies and water, and avoid this kind of bubbly things like Coke and tonic and so on, Fanta. Be careful with food poisoning as well. Here, if we talk about taking care of your body, then it's good to go swimming, Neptune. And last but not least, it can be really beneficial for you, dear Aquarius, if you earn money from something artistic or from medicine, or you're a writer, you write poetry, or you are in the media. If you represent any sort of media or movies, you're an actor, then Neptune can really bring here more income, more rewards. And on the 29th, we have a new moon at 7 degrees of Cancer. That's your 6th house, right? So we talk about new beginnings, new possibilities for diet, exercises, detoxification, work projects, new colleagues, new people who will help you with some daily activities. A new pet in your home could be. That's great, but this new moon is conjuncting Lilith, so there might be some over emotional explosions, manipulation, provocations, self-sabotaging as well. Don't overwork yourself. Don't allow your mood to swing because of some colleagues at work or some doctors. Double check all information because it might not be precise and correct one around this new moon. And it's squared by Jupiter in Aries in your third house. So Jupiter is magnifying all these emotional states, all these possible misunderstandings or scandals, or feeling like feeling pity for someone or feeling pity for yourself. That could be, so don't fall into it. And because Jupiter is in third house, so we might talk about either vehicles, traveling, studying, or some information about your health, about work. So don't fall for it immediately. Give it a time and do some good research about everything you see or hear. Okay, dear Aquarius? So this was your monthly forecast for June. Thank you very much for watching, liking, sharing my videos, and for subscribing for my channel. I wish you a lovely month of June, and I'll see you soon. Bye.